Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about highlighting, contouring, and baking. I've gotten a lot of questions about it, what baking is, how to do it. So I figured it'd be good just to make a video, clear up some confusion. So yeah, if you're curious about how I got this flawless highlighted and baked face, then keep watching. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is prime my face. I am using the Rejuvenique oil. This stuff has been life-changing for me. It has over 100 uses. The Kardashians use it, so you know it's good. It smells amazing. And if you're watching this the day I post the video, it is, there's a promotion deal with it today that if you join our VIP program, you can get it for $84, and then you can add a hair mask for $10, and those are usually between $50 and $60. So it's a really good deal. You guys can message me for more information about that, but this stuff has literally transformed my skin in just like a few uses, and it makes my makeup stay on my skin so nice, and I am absolutely obsessed with it. It can reduce wrinkles, and it can actually reduce the appearance of scars too, which is really cool, I think. And then you can obviously also use it in your hair, so like it's pretty expensive. Obviously $84 for oil is pretty expensive. So I like to like put it on my skin, and then I'll like rub the excess on my hair. Like a lot of times, like with primers or moisturizers and stuff, once I get done using it, I just like, wipe it on my hands or on my legs or my pants or whatever. But this stuff, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna get the full $84 out of this. So you can already tell like a lot of the redness in my skin just went down from using this oil in seconds. I don't know how it does that, but I'm pretty sure it's made out of magic, okay? So just continuing on here with foundation, I am still using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. If you watched my last video, I was using a lighter shade and a darker shade. Now I am just using the darker shade. I have a little bit more of a tan on my like chest. No, my face doesn't look tan, but I like to match my foundation to, the rest of my body so I don't have like a ghost face. So I'm just gonna apply this super quick like I normally do. I am applying it with a damp Morphe beauty sponge. I did clean it. I clean it every single day before I use it. That might be an unnecessary step for you if you're not, like, if you don't have super sensitive skin, you're not acne prone, you don't need to clean it every day. I would say probably 99% of everyone who uses them doesn't clean them every day, but I just am like, I feel like sponges are so dirty, and putting one on my face every single day, I'm like, nope, I'm gonna have to make sure that's clean first. Another thing is I always wash my hands before applying my primer. It's like if your hands are like dirty and gross and you're rubbing them all over your skin, that's like gonna make you break out and like have some issues. So I feel like those little steps are what really makes the difference, is like clean hands, clean like tools like sponges and brushes and stuff. I feel like that's one thing that people are really missing in their skincare regimen, and they don't think about it. So lately I've been doing one layer foundation, and then I'll actually do another one on top, just for a little bit more full coverage. Usually with like when I'm using higher end foundations, like if I'm using the Born This Way foundation, I don't have to do that because it is very full coverage. I'd say, what is this, I think this is a full coverage foundation too, but full coverage at the drugstore is not the same as full coverage from Sephora. And just right now, I feel like with this full face baking routine kind of thing, you need to have full coverage foundation on. Alright, so now that that's pretty blended out, I'm going to move on to concealer. So right now, I've been using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer for a really long time. Right now, this one is a little light for me, so I've been trying to use it in like the tiniest amount ever, because I've actually noticed in some of my pictures you can tell like where I put my concealer because it's too light for me, and I haven't had time to get a different one, and I also don't really want to spend $40 or $30 on a concealer right now. So just where I'm at in my life. So if you think that it looks too light, well, that's because it is. So I kind of wanted to touch on nose contouring in this video too, because I've actually gotten questions about that lately. I kind of start my nose contouring process with my concealer by bringing the concealer up higher on the nose. I don't know if you've watched any other videos. A lot of people will stop it like directly under their eye down to the side of their nose. I actually bring it up higher because I'm trying to give the illusion that my nose is thinner than it is. So then by bringing the concealer up higher, I can contour the lines skinnier down my nose than they actually are, which sounds complicated, but I think it'll make more sense when we get there. So I'm gonna blend this out really quick too. It's funny because it's Sunday and I literally have nothing to do today except for go to the gym and like clean and do laundry. So I'm like, yeah, why not have a full beat face of contour, highlight, and baking, because you're gonna be going to the gym and staying home. So now that that's pretty blended out, it actually doesn't look as bad as I thought it was going to. I'm going to fill in my eyebrows really quick and we'll be right back because no one wants to watch you fill in your eyebrows for like 10 minutes. It's not. If you want to watch that, you would watch an eyebrow tutorial, right? Okay. All right, I think those are relatively even. We're just going to go with it for now. I'm going to set my face really quick if I can find. My stuff is so unorganized. So I've been setting my under eyes a little differently lately. I've been using this middle shade in the Kat Von D palette, this like banana-y shade, and I just use like a rounded brush and I just kind of, it's like a pre-baking stage just to like make sure the concealer is not going to move. And I found that if I'm using like, because before I can't talk. Before, if I was using like a loose baking powder, like with my beauty sponge and like putting it under my eyes, I was noticing a lot of creasing. So then I started doing it like this, like before I bake under my eyes, and I feel like it's a lot less like cakey looking, I guess, if that makes sense. And then I just kind of like will dust it around my face. I'm gonna bake obviously, so it's not that big of a deal if it's not like full on covered. Speaking of baking, the reason I'm doing this video is because I had so many questions about baking. I had people text me, what is baking? Never heard of that. And then I was like, okay, what are you people doing? Do you guys do things other than watch makeup videos in your spare time? Because I don't, clearly. So yeah, I got a ton of questions about it and I was like, maybe I should just do a video on it because I guess people don't know what it is. So actually, what baking is, it was created by drag queens, which I think is so cool. So it's putting loose powder on your face like in a thick layer and letting it sit there, and actually letting the heat of your skin bake it into your face, which makes it last way longer throughout the day. Such a cool concept, I think, and I honestly think it works. Every time I do it, which is basically every day, let's be honest, I just think my makeup stays in place so much better. Like if I go to work all day and then I'm gonna go out on like Friday night, I usually just have to like touch up around my nose area and then I'm good to go. Like I can't imagine changing my makeup routine to not do it anymore. So that's that. I can't find the brush I want. It's on the floor, of course. So I'm just gonna bronze up my face in like the contour areas with the Marc Jacobs bronzer. I've been using this bronzer for a long time now, almost a year, and you can't even tell. And I have used it almost every single day for the past year. So yes, it is an expensive bronzer. I agree 100%. I think it's $48, I think. That is very expensive for a bronzer. But if you divide $48 over the course of over a year, clearly you are getting your money's worth. I feel like people have a really hard time grasping that concept. Like, if you, like the Hoola bronzer by Benefit, I'm pretty sure is $36, and it is this big. It's tiny. So I feel like people need to like get more in the mindset of, yes, sometimes things are expensive. This is true. But if it's gonna last you over a year, then it's probably worth it. Instead of rebuying the same thing for $20 once every few weeks, you can buy something for $50 that's gonna last over a year. And that is my rant, okay? Okay, so we're gonna nose contour really quick, which is kind of my favorite part of my makeup routine right now. Just because I was looking at an older picture and a newer picture, and I was like, it literally looks like I got a nose job and I'm not mad about it. So I just have this like pointy brush. Let's see if we can get that. See, it's like pretty small and it comes to like a pointed edge here. And I just before I was using a different brush, but I started using this one. I think it's a little bit easier to work with. And I will just dip it into the same bronzer. And you can kind of tell like where the shadow is gonna hit my nose at when I look down is where I want to nose contour at, and just like a little bit in. And I just take the brush and draw a straight line up and down until I feel like it looks like there's a shadow there. And I do the same thing on the other side. And I'm using a very, very light hand when I do this, just because I don't want it to be like two obvious lines down the side of my face. I also will bring it up to my eyebrow, like the corner of my eyebrow, and bring it down just to make it look a little bit more natural. And then because I don't like the way that my nose curves down, I always just like color this in down here, make it look like a shadow there again, and just like connect it. It's kind of just like drawing like a U underneath, like right where you want the tip of your nose to be. And then this is where highlighting is very important. I just want to like quick PSA. Stop. I mean, seriously. Stop using, well, now this isn't as dramatic because I can't find the brush I want to use. There it is. Stop using these big brushes to highlight your nose. If you highlight your whole nose, hello, it's going to look ginormous. I don't know, like I literally see people like beauty gurus like on Instagram and YouTube that like highlight their cheekbones and take the same brush and highlight their whole nose. I'm like, girl, you're literally just making yourself look like you have a huge nose. Like, yes, this is a fantastic brush for highlighting. This is the Morphe 510. Such a good brush for highlighting your cheeks and like your forehead and other areas of your face. This brush, look how tiny this is. Tiny, tiny. This is what I use to highlight my nose. This is the Morphe 213. We're not highlighting yet, so I don't really know how I got on this topic. I almost just grabbed my highlighter and I realized I didn't start baking yet, which is the whole purpose of this video. Anyway, continuing on, let's just start baking. So I have been using the No Color Translucent Powder by RCMA. It's kind of hard to work with because the lid has like little tiny holes in it that you can like sprinkle out like it's like cinnamon or something, and it's annoying. So I have to like dump half the container into the lid in order to get it to work. But I like it because it's cheap and it works. It doesn't flash back. In order to avoid a white cast on your pictures from setting powders, you need to avoid setting powders that have silica in them. Silica just picks up light really weird. It's in sunscreen, and a lot of products don't even list their ingredients. I wonder if this one doesn't. It doesn't. So you would have to Google like what ingredients are in your setting powders. I remember I used, what was it, Makeup Forever for a long time. And then I didn't have any issues with it because I wasn't baking. But when I started baking with it and you use like a thick layer of it, that's when I was wanting to die when I looked at my pictures. Yeah, so with that, so I take the flat end of this sponge and I just go right along where I drew that line on my nose and just kind of leave it in like a thick layer. And I also will try to sweep it under my eye a little bit just to make sure that concealer's really set. And really around the nose because that is where I have issues with creasing and my makeup getting rubbed off and looking oily throughout the day, even though I have literally the driest skin ever right now. I don't know. And then same thing on the other side. And then I'll just kind of carve out where my contour is. That's why I love this sponge, because it has that flat end. It literally makes this process so easy. And it's $7, so I'm pretty sure a beauty blender is what, $20? How dumb. A $20 sponge. I can only imagine the upcharge on that. How much does that cost to make? 20 cents. And then a lot of times if I'm feeling really like encouraged to look nice, I'll do it down the middle and just like up my forehead. So you can see, obviously, this is a pretty thick layer. I'm not going to leave it like this because that would be silly. So usually I will do something else while I wait for this to bake into my skin, whether it's fill my eyebrows, which I already did today, or eyeshadow, stuff like that. Today I'm probably just gonna do like a super, literally easy eye look. I have been using the Nudie Patootie palette by Laura Lee Los Angeles a lot lately because I think this color here, it's called Strip, second one in here, is the prettiest eyeshadow of all time. I'm obsessed with it. I just take like a big fluffy brush like this. This is the Morphe R37, and dip into the palette, and I'll just go right along my crease. I love it's such a pretty orange, like dreamsicle-y warm tone. I seriously think it's so pretty, and I'm just gonna do that super quick. I have had a sore throat for like 4 days now, and I'm just so ready for it to go away. It's so annoying. So I usually try to let this powder sit on my face for a few minutes. And it'll kind of look like it like dissipated a little bit, just because it did sink into your skin. So if you look at it and you're like, I swear I put it on thicker than that, you did. I'm also just gonna take a little bit of a skinnier brush. This is the Morphe 537. It's a little bit less fluffy. And I'm gonna dip into this shade Butt Naked here. It's a little bit of a warmer tone brown. And I'm just gonna go in the crease a little bit lower than I brought up that strip shade, just to define the crease a little bit. A lot of times I won't do this, but I'm waiting for my bake to set, so I need to distract myself. And then I think another thing that confuses people about baking is that you're gonna obviously want to use a loose setting powder with it, but some brands actually have what they call baking powder, but not like baking powder that you use to like bake with, you know, like cookies, you know. Gosh, what? I want to say Huda, theirs is called baking powder. There's another one that's called baking powder, but it's all loose powder. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of like a marketing thing, is they know that baking is very in right now, so they just called it baking powder to get people to buy it. It probably works, but yeah. So if you think like, well, I'm gonna start doing that after watching this video, you can get pretty much any loose setting powder ever. They have them at Walmart, and they have them at drugstores and Sephora and Ulta. I would just recommend trying to avoid the ones that flash back. You could probably even Google setting powders that flash back and setting powders that don't. If you don't know what I'm talking about with flashback, I'm going to insert here a picture of James Charles when he used the Coty Airspun setting powder from Walmart and all over his face, and it flashed back all over. It looked so bad. So don't probably buy that one if you're gonna try to bake with it. That is my advice. So I've let this sit for a few minutes-ish now. So this is my favorite part. Look at this brush that has a hair on it. I just want to rub this all over my face, don't you? This is the Morphe E41, and I'm just gonna brush off that excess powder now. Oh, it's so soft. It feels like you have like a little bunny tail all over your face. It feels so good. And make sure there's no leftover obvious residue. So you can see my skin looks pretty flawless right now. The thing about baking is I usually feel like a blush is necessary after, because it does kind of have like a little bit of a lighter tone from here to the contour, and I really think blush just kind of blends everything together. I've been using the same blush forever. I literally got it as a free sample from Sephora on my birthday, I think. Still haven't hit pan on it. This is from Tarte, and it's Party with 3 A's. It's a really pretty blush. I'm just going to use the Morphe 530 brush and just dust that out on the apples of my cheeks and upwards. And I really feel like that helps blend it all together. I'm about to show up to the gym on a Sunday with a full beat face, and people are going to be like, she probably went to church or did something, and I'm going to be like, no, I did nothing today. I made a YouTube video, that's what I did. So now that I already got my highlighting rant out of the way, I guess we can actually highlight. So this beautiful thing, I love it so much, has the prettiest highlighting shade of all time. I wouldn't recommend it if you are like super fair, because right now I do have a bit of a tan, but look how pretty that is. It's like the perfect, let's get this out of the way. It's like the perfect like gold, but not too gold, like blinding highlight. I think it seriously is so pretty. It has a really nice formula too. It doesn't feel chalky or anything like that. I was using a Tarte highlight before that did feel a little bit chalky, but I really liked the way it looked on my face, so I just kept using it. With highlighting, I will say this. If you have texture on your skin, like you just have like bumps or acne or whatever on your cheeks or wherever, I would say skip highlighting for the day. It's really not worth it. It just brings it out more. And it's like, do you really want people to look at the texture on your face? No. I know it's a big trend right now, but you can skip it, okay? So I'm going to dip into that highlight and just go right on top of my cheeks here. Let's see if we can get the light to focus a little bit better for me. No. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, nope, there goes the lighting again. I'm using the sun, so, oh boy. Oh, it's so pretty. I think that the highlight is so blinding that the light is like really picking up on it in an annoying way. There. Can you see that? Look how pretty that is. And same thing over here. Yep, doing it again. Nice. It literally didn't do it at all this whole video. And now I'm really trying. Oh my gosh, that is annoying. Okay. And now I'm going to switch to the little brush to do the nose, because that is how you do it. So I just take it and go basically right up until it's between my eyes. And then, like, I feel like people highlight their nose really low. I have been moving mine up a little bit just to make it have the appearance that my nose is like cute and tiny and like sticks up on the end like a little ski slope nose. But I don't have that, but I make it look like I do. Oh, so much better. I'm also just gonna hit the brow bone with this highlight. And the inner corners of my eyes as well, just because why not? We already made it this far. All right, the next step is probably the most extra thing ever. So if you're not as extra as I am with your makeup, you can probably just skip this step. I like to spray my face with a setting spray. And then while it's still wet, go in with the highlight again. Just so if it sticks onto something that's wet, it's really gonna be vibrant on your face. Okay, can we get, oh, no, oh, ooh, ooh, oh. You guys get it, right? Let me know if you don't, and I'll just send you a picture with better lighting. And then just because it feels good, I'm probably gonna spray my face again now. Oh, it feels so good. So yeah, I'm gonna just put on some mascara really quick and set my eyebrows, and then we are done. Alright, so that is it. That is how I do my makeup almost every single day, with contouring, highlighting, and baking my face. I would say my skin looks pretty good. I've been having good luck with my skin lately. I would say it's mostly due to this liquid gold that I've been using. It's just very important to keep your skin hydrated and healthy no matter how you do it. But yeah, that's all for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. I'm always up to answering questions about makeup. I can talk about makeup all day. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up if you like it and a thumbs down if you don't. Thanks so much.